Hello and welcome to Brand OTC, also known as Brand Over the Counter, where we answer your branding questions with a full over the counter product. So today's product is called Authentidos, and we're focusing on keeping your brand real. So if you're struggling with customer skepticism, low brand loyalty, or even some social media backlash, this is the episode for you. So tune on in. Now let's get right into it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Cynthia Akita, and I am your brand strategist and brand new web designer here over at the Design Firmacy. And I want to talk to you about how you can make your brand authentic because that was the question that was posed. So, the very simple answer is simply by showing up as yourself. I mean, what else can you do? At the end of the day, pardon me, let me fix my notes. At the end of the day, you are who you are. You cannot be anyone else. And there's this phrase that, everyone else is taken. And so you want to make sure that you can show up in the most authentic way that you possibly can. And in the same manner that everyone else is taken, every brand is also taken. And so you want to find pride and joy in just being who you are. So the first two things you want to think about are what exactly is it that you stand for? And then what are your values? So, in the same manner that we all have the morals and the principles by which we live our lives, our brand should also have the exact same thing through our brand strategies. So, if you don't know what a brand strategy is, it is a plan or an action guide that helps you shape the way that others view your business. And so it includes your brand core, your brand persona, and your brand positioning. Sorry, your brand positioning. And those three major areas help you to configure first, identify and clarify who you are, what you stand for, um, how you serve your audience, whether it's through products or services or experiences. And then it goes on to help you identify what your values are, what your vision is. And we'll get a little bit into that. Your personality will also touch on that. Sorry, is about the way you show up, how you relate to your audience. And then your positioning is the space that you want to take up in their mind. So, again, what do you stand for? What are your values? Do you value integrity? I think that's something that all business owners should value. Do you value integrity? Do you value creativity? Do you value honesty? Do you value sustainability? If you're a brand that focuses more on the environment and how you guys reduce your carbon footprint and all of those things, what are your values? What do you stand for? So I want to go through four things that I feel are very important for you to kind of live in that authentic space as a brand. So the first thing is that you need clarity. We cannot go anywhere unless we know where we're going, right? So in your clarity, that goes back to, your brand core as I spoke about. So you want to focus on what your purpose is. Why did you establish your business in the first place? I mean, what did you want to accomplish? What are you selling? What are you offering people? What do you expect people to get from you? So understand what your purpose is. Then I want you to understand what your vision is. Where are you going? Now, you figured out why you exist, what you're offering your audience, but where do you see this business going? Where do you see your impact? How I'm sorry, how will your impact affect people down the line? So you want to think about from a year from now to 5 years from now to 10 years from now. And although 10 years seems like, it's so far away, I promise you it will be here before you know it. So pardon me. So you definitely want to think about where your brand is going in the next year, from the next year, even down to the next 6 months or so, is also something that you want to clarify, right? So once you figured out where you're going, then you want to focus on your values and what you stand for, because these values that you have are going to help you make those decisions in your business, from partnerships to even put partnerships aside, just the day-to-day tasks that you'll like have to do in your business. Having those values will help you determine what is more important and what is least important in the line of things that you have to get going on within your business. So number one, as I said, you need clarity, and having a clear brand core helps you to show up more authentically in your brand. The next thing is that you need to show some personality. So a brand is very much like a person. It's like the invisible human that represents your business. So it has to have a personality. Now, I know over the years we've always seen businesses as like professional and like, straight, you know, no posture issues type of thing, like you're so serious, you speak in a certain way, you enunciate and pronounce all of your words clearly, and that was what we understood as professional, right? But there is a place for that for specific businesses, but every business does not have to have that type of a personality. You can have a fun business where you talk to people in the same manner that I'm talking to you, right? A lot of times we don't realize that our brands often mimic who we are. And so if we find ourselves to be very shy, our brand will be very quiet. I don't know how well it'll work for your business, but we tend to put off what we actually are. And so if you find yourself to be loud and funny, you'll figure out that a lot of your brand is like that too, where in the way you talk to people, because it is your voice, many times as solopreneurs, we talk to people in the way we talk within our brand in the same manner that we talk to our friends and the people that we see on the side of the road or wherever we meet somebody, right? And so a brand has personality, and that's shown through your tone. It's shown through the way you relate with people, in your messaging, in the way you tell your storyline, in all of those things. So again, I'm recapping. One, you need clarity, and two, you need to show some personality. And three, live in authenticity. So that's going to be based on the clarity that you have and the personality that you are showing your audience. And so once you have those two things figured out, then you can start living out, or your brand can start living out those things that you have solidified on paper. Well, this is how I want people to see my brand. This is how I want people to relate to my brand. And then number four, you want to be consistent, because consistency ensures that you are who you say you actually are. And so, when you get to know somebody, whether you're meeting them for the first time, and then, you're slowly getting to know them, you start to meet them a little bit more often, you trust that they are who they are based on um, how consistent they are, how often they show that character. And so you get to build that trust when you tie their character to the things that you see them doing, whether especially if you take someone out to a restaurant, you see how they treat the server, and it helps you understand a bit about who they are. Because at least for me, at least I wouldn't like it if I went out with someone and they were yelling at the server. It would tell me that maybe they're not so polite. Maybe they have some other issues going on where they don't know how to treat other people. And so they would potentially not treat me well, right? And so being consistent gives people the opportunity to develop an opinion about who they think you are. Again, it's based off of what you show them. So you definitely want to be consistent. Now, in the same manner, you can only fake something for so long, right? Your true nature is going to come out, even if someone bets you $1 million that you have to be nice, you have to be polite. Who you are, if you're not a polite and nice person, it will come out, whether they're paying you $1 million or $1 trillion. It will eventually come out. So in the same manner, people know that if you are not consistent, if you're not true to who you are, if you're not authentic, they will be able to spot the fake behavior easily. Like the moment you get off of that consistent train, they'll say, "Wait a minute, I thought you guys said you were X, Y, and Z, but you're showing a different side of you that we didn't really know. So maybe this is the real side." And then you've essentially done like bad PR for yourself. So be who you say you are and remain authentic to that. There is nothing wrong with, I mean, again, based on people's morals, if you decide you want to be rude, or maybe you want to have a little bit of spiciness to your brand. I always talk about Wendy's. Wendy's is a very spicy and fun brand, right? And people love it. But if that's something that turns you off, then you're probably not going to be a fan of Wendy's. But that doesn't mean that Wendy's is going to go out of business, because they have their specific audience that loves them just for who they are. And someone will love you just for who you are. So keep showing up as yourself, or keep keep allowing your brand to show up as itself, so that people can embrace it, get to know it, and that's how you build loyal followers. So, with that said, I recently put out a resource for you called the Brand Attraction Toolkit. Now you see that here on your screen. The Brand Attraction Toolkit is a checklist of key brand elements to optimize your brand for a stronger appeal. And we focus on the 5 attraction factors, which are visual branding, messaging and storytelling, exclusivity and brand experience, brand culture, and then community involvement and participation. And so, just because this question kind of ties into this resource that we've created, we want you to go ahead and grab that by visiting our website. The product link will be down below. And so we'll make it easier for you guys. But I will say, if you are a subscriber of Brand Scoop magazine, you will get a discount for this particular kit, or resources, but I should say, sorry. And so make sure you visit the magazine and find this tool so that you could find your coupon and purchase it for yourself. All right. So I hope that this episode was great for you. Before we end, I do want to invite you to our free 6-day email course called Nice to Brand You. Get an introduction to the meaning behind a brand, what it entails, its value, and why you should invest. So transform your understanding with 6 bite-sized but detailed lessons distributed over 6 days. And you can sign up for that today by visiting nice2brandyou.com. And again, it is a free email course to help you get reacquainted with what it means to have a brand. Now, I'll see you guys on the next episode of Brand OTC. Have an amazing day.